Welcome back to Bucket Bites. Today we're talking about that upset, crying player on your bench because they just gave up 6 runs or they just struck out for their 19th straight time. It's hard, but coaches, it's your responsibility. Let's talk about it.
Views from the bucket.
All right, welcome back to Bucket Bites. This is our third segment, and it's an important one, coaches, because we've all been through it. It's that upset, tear-filled player who just struck out for their 19th time or just gave up their 10th run or want you to pull them off the field because it's not going well. And you now have to deal with the emotions related to baseball failure. Well, the thing is, as a coach, you probably played and you were probably going through it yourself as a player. And if it's your own kid, you're going to be even more frustrated because a lot of times we are more frustrated with our own kids as coaches than we are with other kids, especially if the tears start to cry. Like, why are you crying? Rub some dirt on it. What are you doing? I don't understand. All of this stuff. Those are not the ways to react to a player who is upset. We need to acknowledge their feelings, coaches. I mean, come on. I know it hurts and it sucks, and you're angry about the tears, and you're like, why are you such a wimp? Well, you're not a wimp. I mean, these are things that are happening to these players that are frustrating, and they don't know how to get around it. And remember, your primary goal as a coach is to make sure that they're back for tryouts next year, that they love this game. We are teaching a love of baseball. And if we don't address the situations that come up where they're in tears, we just let them sit and toil away on the bench and, bawl their eyes out or run back to their parents and leave the bench, which we don't love, as we know, as coaches, things like that. If we don't actually pull them aside, put our arm around them and acknowledge their feelings, you're going to really find that the love of the game goes away. This is a game of failure. We've talked about this in other segments. This is a game of failure. Hall of Famers fail 70% of the time, guys. So we can't expect our players to feel good about the things that they're doing just because they're in Little League, right? They might have a 6-run inning that they give up as pitchers. They might have their 19th strikeout in a row, as I said. They might have not had a hit in 6 games. All of these things. They might have dropped a ball in an important situation. All of these things can contribute to them being upset, and we have to save the love of the game. That's your primary goal as a coach. So the first thing you got to do is acknowledge the feelings and show empathy. Hey, I've been through it. I used to play. And all of these things, I can see you're frustrated, but it's totally okay to feel upset with something like that. I know you feel like that mistake really hurt us, but go out and do something big for us next. Other ways to do something big. The guy who's striking out 19 times might make a phenomenal play in right field. If that's the case, focus on that phenomenal play. Don't focus on the strikeouts. You helped us win by saving 2 runs. I don't care that you didn't get us 2 runs because you saved 2, and it's just as important, right? So it's really, really important to point out the things that they are doing very, very well when these things come up and when the tears come up and things don't go well in another area of the game. Because as we all know, baseball has 19 different areas to the game or more. You're going to be successful in a lot of those and probably in most of those, but it is a game of failure as well, right? So helping them understand that it's okay to feel upset in those failure moments because you're going to contribute in other ways, it really helps them feel normal in the game and helps them foster a love of the game. However, that sounds like we're dismissing the emotion of the fact that they're upset by pointing them and redirecting them in another direction. We don't want to do that necessarily either. We need to acknowledge that they're upset. We need to avoid dismissing that emotion. We need to make sure that we don't downplay their frustration too much because it's valid. They feel it, right? They feel that frustration, and we can't be saying it's just a game or don't be upset because you know unless you're going to give them the reasons again why they shouldn't necessarily be as upset because they've done great things in other areas. Make sure you back those up with those pieces because it's valid what they're feeling. It's valid that lack of success happened, and they have to feel better about their position in the game. But the big thing is to reassure them that their struggles are part of the game. I mean, even the biggest, major leaguers struggle. Aaron Judge even goes through, a 15-game stretch where he doesn't hit a home run. You have to think about those things. I mean, that is the game, right? So you just normalize it, normalize mistakes and failure as part of baseball, because that's really what it is. And then use examples like Aaron Judge, use personal examples like what had happened to you when you used to play, all of those things. They need to hear that it's happening to others, not just them. That'll help to solve and fix their over emotion about a certain situation. The other thing is shift the focus to learning. One of the things I try to say all the time, and I've said it in parent meetings at the end of seasons and things like that, we either win or we learn. We don't actually ever lose. We just learn this game better, right? And so here's where you can praise effort and not just results. Like, I know you were pitching hard, buddy. Your defense didn't help you out. I know you were taking everything that I was telling you about how to throw harder or how to, finish your pitches or how to, what your release point. I know you were trying all of that. And that effort was phenomenal. So even though we didn't get the result we look for today, we will get that result in the future because you're making the effort and you're learning. Right. And we're learning from this. Can they hit your curveball today? Yeah, they can. So what kind of changes do we have to make? That's all. We're just going to make changes to it. It's not about failure. It's about learning. Right. And so that's the biggest key. Be specific too. We can offer actual advice to some of these things. Oh, I think your head is just looking at the sky at the end of every one of those swings you're taking. Let's get that back to shoulder. Let's make sure your eyes are on the ball. Make sure you see the contact to the bat. All of those types of things. Give them tangible advice to help them to correct these things. But again, be very, very careful you don't overcoach in a game. Practices are for coaching, right? In a game, there's so many times I see coaches where they're trying to do too much and they're giving them 6 different tips and then they go up to the bat and the next time and they look like a fool because they're trying to do all 6 of those things at once. You can't do that. You can't fix it in a game. This is where the encouragement comes. We'll work on it. Hey, bud, we'll learn. Okay, we'll learn from this. We'll work on it in practice. We'll work on it in batting practice, whatever it is. We're going to work on it. We'll get you through it. Okay, so comforting them in that way as well. And that will help you reframe the situation more positively with your players, right? You turn it from a negative to here's what we're going to learn, and then a positive when we win. So that's the other thing. Keep in mind that this is what they were upset about last game. Practice happens. We kind of tweak things. We fix it. They get a hit the next game. It's important to go back to that and say, listen, remember how upset you were 2 games ago? We worked on it. You got a hit today. You got 2 hits, drove in 3 runs, whatever it is. Look at how that worked. So next time you have that type of situation, Timmy, Sarah, whoever it is, next time you have that situation, we know we're going to learn from it and we know we're going to make adjustments, right? And so that helps you to have that conversation even the next time when you say, remember last time? Remember what we did? You were super upset. You gave up 6 runs. We changed your arm slot a little bit. We finished the pitches toward the catcher a little better. Whatever it was, we resolved it. You pitched really well the last time. Now we've kind of reverted back a little bit. We'll learn from that. Let's do that again. You'll be successful the next time. Makes the conversation way, way easier. And then sometimes, I'll just tell you right now, sometimes it's a matter of just listening. Let them talk. Let them cry. Let them say what they need to say. My teammates are going to be upset. I suck. I this, I that. They're going to say it. They're going to say it. It's wrong, but they're going to say it. So let them get that out too. Make sure you let them get it out and then talk about what we're going to do to learn from it, what we're going to do to change things, and don't overcoach in the game as well. And really, the biggest key here is, guys, end the conversation with that player on a positive note. Affirm their potential. I know you. The team trusts you. I know what you can do. You've had 6 great outings. This one's not going to matter that much. Really, it's not. This is just a moment in time that you can move on from and learn from, right? But we trust you. You're going back out there on your regular day, on your regular rest, whatever it is. You're going back out there to hit for us. You're going back out there to run for us. Whatever it is, we still trust you. Make sure you end that conversation on a really positive note and instill that confidence back in them that they are still great. There's a reason they made this team. Make sure they know that reason, right? Make sure they know that reason. All right. That's dealing with difficult players. Make sure you like and subscribe to this channel for a lot more like this. And don't forget to check out the Views from the Bucket podcast with lots of amazing guests. We're up to episode 5 now and beyond. Make sure you subscribe to it and watch it on this channel, or get it if you're out for a walk or something on your favorite audio podcast channels. Thanks for watching.